So now we have a game against
So here we have
at Olympiad.
Najdorf variation played by Najdorf himself.
Okay.
Yeah. The variation is called after him, after Najdorf.
But I was already called Najdorf here or later on?
Later on, but in the same time, almost in the same, because he played almost, in each important game, he played the same variation. I mean, and afterwards it was called Najdorf. Okay, Najdorf, it comes to Najdorf when black plays like this, the pawns on d6, e6, and a6. This is always Najdorf variation. Okay, and here we have with bishop d3, e3, and f4, one of the main variations against the Najdorf. Okay, f4, what is b5? Okay, queen f3, bishop b7, bishop d3, and knight b7. Okay, this is the main line. Here, white castles, and later on he tries to do something against the black king on the other side. You see, the
On the
variation is well known, played in a lot of important games. Black again has to play very carefully. One move, not decisive, but gives very good chances for attacking. For very strong attack from white. So move order again, very important. All right, bishop d3, castle, bishop e7, a3. I mean, a3 is okay. In some variations, white comes very quickly with the rook immediately in e1, but probably he didn't like the idea to give the possibility before attacking the knight and so on. It's another line. A3 is quiet enough. I mean, quiet against the threat, the so-called threat b5 before.
yeah.
A3. All right, castle, and now queen h3. Theory. Everything is theory. So queen c7, rook e1. And now, after rook c1, knight c5. Well, after knight c5, bishop f2. And here, he played d5. d5 is a little bit too, I mean,
Was better to
gives too many chances for white.
was better to take this one
It
directly?
was better to take immediately or even rook c8. But okay, taking is d3 is all right. Taking back with the pawn and then rook a c8. It's another variation, but it's more or less all right for black. I mean, not so dangerous. Like this is very dangerous, the way they played. Why? Because now he takes back with the pawn and you can't take back with the knight, you see, in d5. The normal move is to take back with the knight. Okay, c takes d3, and now if you take back with the knight in d5, a very unpleasant move, probably decisive, is knight takes c6, and you lose material. You have to take d6, otherwise
Okay.
you lose the exchange. So now check, and then he takes in d5, and you lose material with black. It's very, very bad for black. Okay, so you have to take back with the bishop. And then again, you have, if you take back with the knight, the same thing, knight takes e6, the same idea,
Yeah.
So therefore, the idea with d6, d5 was bad, because it was too early to play d5. The idea with d5 was all right, only if white pushes e5. After e5, knight e4, the game is okay for black, But like this is very dangerous because the position is completely open and white has initiative, and it's a good possibility for Tal to attack, exactly the way he wanted,
He likes.
Okay. Now knight f5, everything with tempo. Now what to do? Bishop c5, and now after bishop c5, unpleasant surprise, d4. It seems that d4 is not so good, but it closes, the diagonal, but
Yeah.
it's okay. Here is very good for white, you see. So now everything is more or less forced. Bishop h7, and now bishop h4, again with tempo. So if you want something, you have to play knight e4. For one move again, if he has time to play here, for instance, one move more, g6 or rook e8, black can resist. But white plays here. Now he gives the exchange. Right decision, And now look, bishop f6.
Mm.
Everything, he gives every piece. Well, if you take, it's mate, of course.
Yeah,
If you
because
take in f6, queen g4 and mate in one.
queen d4, yes.
Yeah, and king and there queen g7 mate.
Yeah.
Of course, he can't take. But now the position is exactly what Tal, loves in this kind of game. And here everything is very tactical, and of course, we'll see the result. So he tries to defend, with best moves, but it's already very, very dangerous, the position, you see. Especially against Tal. Against very strong grandmaster is very dangerous. Against Tal is almost decisive in a few moves, you see. So bishop e5, now everything is open, and if he gives one check in good condition, you can resign immediately, you see. So queen g6, it seems the best defense, and now look, check, king there, now very quickly, decisive f5, and I think black resigned here, no?
Yes.
So, but what to do here? Has no defense. This is the problem. Queen c6, queen b6, or queen g5. If he plays, for instance, queen g5, it seems that for the moment he could, resist.
Yeah.
But now, the first surprise, knight takes f7. No? Now you have to take, probably, no?
And queen?
Yeah, takes, and if you go back, no? There, bishop d6 check. So, what to do? And he's lost. In every position, he's lost. f6 is one threat, the other move is there, and then he takes with a8, and the attack continues.
Yeah.
Terrible position. So if he plays, for instance, instead of queen g5, queen c6 or queen b6, let's say, what happens? So, here, instead, the queen was in g6. Okay, queen b6, let's say. Queen b6, and now, what was the threat? Just a moment. I think queen g3 wins, probably,
Yeah.
Queen g6 or even queen h5, maybe, also queen h5. Threatens mate in one. Now, okay, so now he has to play rook e7, the only move, no?
Yes.
Yeah, and now f6. Terrible. And if you move the queen somewhere,
The rook?
rook d7, for instance, now queen g5 and resign. Mate. Fantastic position. For one move.
Fantastic attack also.
Yeah, fantastic attack. And
Yeah.
Everyone knows how to do it, but Tal, it was by instinct. Even he didn't know the position at all. He would find the moves, because they're very logical and always the best moves for attack. This kind of position he loved. And in every position, he was happy to play something like this, where
he will be
he gives something for initiative, even without thinking, like this. So, this kind of position, of course, he wins against everyone.
Yes,
but the realization was very nice, in a few moves, you see. He could open completely the position, and finally the attack is decisive.
And this was at the Olympiad, a very important...
very important game against a very strong opponent, because Najdorf was one of the best players in the world. Even then, he was a little bit old, but he was very, very good, Yeah, one move, d5.
Yes,
d5, which allows the game continuation. Because if he doesn't play d5, he plays something quiet like rook c8, then maybe black is all right. I know because I played for white and for black. With white, I won a lot of very important games, for instance, against Portish, Forintosh, and so on. With black, again, I knew how to play, and I could, have a nice position later on and continue, move 30, move 40, and so on. If you don't lose quickly with black, then the game is more or less all right. You have a good chance. But if you give some
space to
positions like this, then it's almost decisive.
Blackout.
Yeah. Terrible.
All right.
This knockout, you see, what kind of position is this?
Yes.
You have exchange, look. Black has his exchange up. It's
Yeah,
completely lost.
correct. Thank you, Mister.
Yeah, you are.